What is going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2Times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and to get all the details in the case. If you're new to the fam, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future uploads. Let's get right into the story. Nowadays, you definitely got to be careful who you trust and let into your personal space. Despite how tough people try to be, or individuals try to make it seem like they don't want friends or associates and they stand alone, granted, that might be true, but it's human nature to want to politic, have someone to kick it with, or friends to call on when things get tough. But the messed up thing about that is, it's a catch-22 situation. You might have good intentions and be a good-hearted person, but that doesn't mean the next man or woman is the same way. Some people prey on individuals they feel like are too friendly or green, and it's easy to mistake someone trying to get the drop on you or plotting on you as a real friend. It's just one of those things you gotta have intuition about. You might meet a person today and y'all become super cool and they never cross you and keep it all the way 100. But someone you grew up with since the sandbox can backdoor you 20 years later. It just goes like that sometimes. And in situations like that, once the damage is done, you can't take it back. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will take it to Hot Springs, Arkansas to discuss a case of a young man who lost his life for just trying to be a good individual, but someone else had other intentions. According to sources, on the 4th of July in 2020, when neighbors and people in the community saw a car just parked and not moving for hours, it seemed strange, as it was a person in the vehicle. Not knowing if the man just had a long night and was just asleep, residents called local police for a welfare check about 10 a.m. Hot Springs police responded to the 100 block of Micah Street to find a man in a white 1998 Lincoln Town car slumped in the driver's seat. While examining the man, they noticed the driver had a gunshot wound to the back of the head, and 9mm casings were found at the scene. Neighbors and police were all shocked, as it was clear the man was deceased. The victim was later identified as 23-year-old Tristan Smith. With no further information, police contacted Tristan's family to break the bad news, in which they were hurt and confused what could have happened. Back at the crime scene, officers located a security camera from a nearby location. Once they saw the footage, it showed from an angle the Lincoln pulling up to that location at about 4:15 a.m. that same morning, but never moving after that. It was no suspects or witnesses in the area. But as the shooting made it to the news about 2 days later, on July 6, two people told the detectives they had some information about the case. The witnesses stated on July 4th, between about 2 or 3 p.m., they were at the Dodge store on 640 East Grand Avenue when at the time, 20-year-old Christopher Gibson approached them and asked for a ride home. While they were taking Christopher to his house in the 200 block of Autumn Street, the young man stated he had something serious on his mind and said, "Man, I caught a body. I hit somebody this morning." While pulling up at his house, Christopher asked the people, "Did y'all hear anything on the news?" In which one of them stated, "Yes, I heard about a young man being found dead in the car." Christopher stated, "Yeah, I did that." When they asked how you did it, the young man allegedly stated, "I shot him in the back of the head." The witnesses told police they knew Christopher since 2015 and showed detectives a picture from his Facebook. As police got a photo lineup, they took it back to them, in which they both confirmed the picture was Christopher. On July 7th, the young man was picked up and questioned about what happened the morning Tristan lost his life. Christopher stated Tristan pulled up to his home in the early morning of July 4th to give him a ride. As he got in the car, Christopher pulled out a blick. He told authorities he demanded money and Tristan's cell phone, but he alleged the man refused and started driving with him still being in the car. By the time the car stopped, he demanded Tristan's phone again and told him to remove his iCloud account. Christopher stated when Tristan kept refusing, he got upset and started to exit the car, but pointed the gun through the rear passenger window, thought about it, and let off 2 shots, hitting the man in his head, taking his money out his pocket and phone before fleeing the scene. At the time of his arrest, Christopher had 2 knives in his possession, one that was reported stolen from a man's vehicle. Tristan's cell phone was later recovered in the 500 block of Crescent Street after Christopher told police where he threw it at. It was determined Tristan was just giving him a ride, but Christopher was plotting a robbery. He was charged with murder, aggravated robbery, and gun violations before he was charged with capital murder, which carries the death penalty. But it was dropped because Christopher pled guilty and he was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Rest in peace to Tristan. I send my prayers and condolences to the family. It sounded like Tristan was just looking out for an associate, and it went left, leaving him gone over a few dollars and a cell phone, and Christopher getting 50 years in prison. More of this story, watch who you let in your space, because once they make up their mind you are a target, it's nothing you can do about it. Tristan lost his life over something petty. I know some people will say, why he just ain't give him everything so he could have got out of there. But I think he felt as though Christopher was still going to shoot anyway and tried to drive to a safe place. Either way, you never know when you pull that gun how a situation will end. So remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, fam, that's a messed up situation. Rest in peace to that young man. You know, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, if they was cool or was like Tristan doing like a ride share service or something like that. But how early it was and how it went down, I feel like he knew Christopher. I don't know if he knew him from around the way. I don't know if they had some kind of transaction going on that 4th of July morning. But obviously, Christopher had other things on his mind. You know, he felt as though he wanted to make a quick lick. He wanted to get the money. And he was about to get out the car and leave, thought about it, and shot the man. And then went in his pockets, took his phone. He didn't even keep the phone. He threw the phone. So I don't know how much money he got out the situation. You know, it could have been some kind of deal that went bad. I'm not sure. It ain't really say. It just said that Christopher tried to rob him, and then Tristan kept driving. He tried to drive to a safe location, like by a church. I guess he felt as though if he gonna shoot, he gonna have to shoot me in his neighborhood. And it went that way, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's your boy Tony 2 Times. I'm out.